I'm recording now.
We will not see those coordinates. We already see.
Apo, can you hear the mic? Can you hear the mic? I propose you recording first here. Because they say they don't see the screen.
Wait,
All right, so, and you said, hello?
Hello?
Yes, Maury, go ahead.
All right, then.
No problem.
Okay, so, good afternoon, everyone. I am Maury Victor, your boy, mathematics teacher at Government Secondary School here in Kenema. So, one for that, just take on a through and along the mock, one we will just take, and one for that, just give me tips of how to solve this question. As you can see, question 1, evaluate 2 root 28 minus 3 root 50 plus 72. This question, we can find this one under the topic called sorts, under sort. And we can find it under the subtopic called addition and subtraction of sort. How do you solve this? This 28, you have to take two numbers. One must be the root and another number. And this 50, again, you have to take two numbers. One number must be a root and the other number be the product. 72, again, you have to take another number. One must be a root and another one happens to be the product. So by so doing, you have to substitute the original expression here into this sort. If you can take 2 multiplied by 2 root 7, you can get 28. Because you have 7 multiplied by 2, you have root 28 there. Minus, and you have to take two numbers. One must be the product and one must be the root. So 5 will be the product and 2 be the root in here. In the other question again for root 72, 6 happens to be the product and 2 happens to be the root. So by multiplying each one, 2 multiplied by 2, you have 4, root 7, minus 3 multiplied by 5, you have 15, root 2, plus 6, root 2. So by evaluating this, you now have 4 root 7 minus 9 root 2. So for this question, question 1, this is how we come about in solving this question. The correct answer here is 4 root 7 minus 9 root 2. Now let's go to question 2. Question 2, given that x is inversely proportional to y, and x is equal to 9 when y is equal to 6, find x when y is equal to 18. This question is under a topic called variation. Mind you, we have 3 types of variation. We have joint, direct, and of course, we have partial variation. So we can find this one under inverse variation here, because you can see, given that x is inversely proportional. So directly you notice that this question is an inverse variation. In the first question here, we must have to find the constant, that is what? K, the constant proportionality of that number. You find the K, after getting the K value, which is the constant, you can now substitute the value you get for K, and you find X, where Y is equal to 18. So by substituting the value of the unknown there, that is K, the constant, you put 18. If you can expand that one, you now have 3. So for question 2, the correct answer here is 3. Now let's look at question number 3. A box contains 12 plates and 6 cups, cost 156 Ghana cedi. Other box contains 12 plates and 18 cups of the same type, cost 228 Ghana cedi. Find the cost of the plate. This one is all under numbers and numeration. Numbers and numeration. The first plate here, we have 12 plates contain how many cups? 6 cups. And it costs 156 Ghana cedi. The other plate here is 12 plates, and it has 18 cups. The first thing to do, try to know first the plates. Add the two plates together, you now know the cost of the plate. Then you add the two numbers together, you know the cost of all these numbers. So for you to get the cost of 9 plates, try to get one cost of a plate first. By adding the plate together and you divide it by the cost of the plate, that is the 6 cups and the 18 cups. You divide that one by the sum of the plates here you have added. Now you know the cost of one plate. By getting that relation, you now multiply that number by 9 because you want to get 9 plates. You multiply that one by 9. So if you multiply that one by 9, you have 90 Ghana cedi. So in this question, for one plate, the cost of one plate is 10. The cost of one plate is 10 Ghana cedi. So by getting 9 plates, you have what? 90 Ghana cedi. Because 10 multiplied by 9, we have 90 for question 3. Question 4. A straight line which divides one or more line and angle into 2 equal parts is called. This one is under geometry, construction. When you are constructing a line, what do we do first? We have referred to as what? We bisect a line. That is, we bisect a line. So meaning that bisect line here will be divided. So the only line here that will divide 2 or more lines is what? A bisector. So for question 4, bisector is the correct answer here. Question 5. A car traveled 245 kilometers at a constant speed of 3.5 hours. How far does it travel in 90 minutes? In the first place, try to know for the hour first. We know 1.5 hours. Try to convert this one into a minute. How many minutes give us 1.5 hours? We know 60 minutes make 1 hour. So meaning try to convert to 3.5 hours into a minute. After that, divide this one by the kilometer. You now know 1. So for you to get 90 minutes, just divide that value again by 90. You now get the correct kilometer. And if you do that, you end up getting 105 kilometers. For question number 6, if cos x is equal to 1 upon root 2, we have 0 degree. We can call this as the x is less than equal to 0 degree and greater than equal to 90 degree. Evaluate 2 tan x plus root 2 sine x. In this question here, we can find this question under trigonometry, under trigo. We call this as what? Trigonometric ratio. We first try to express this one. By expressing it, we know cos x half root, which is 1 root 2 will be a sine of that one. So if you can express one in the form of a cos and a sine, you evaluate that one, you now have 2. We know 2 cos and a sine will give us 2 tan. Cos theta, sine theta will give us tan. So meaning we try to just take the tangent of that one. And if you evaluate that one, you now got 3. So the correct answer for question 6 will be 3. Question 7. In a class of 40 students, 28 offer chemistry and 25 biology. Each of the students offer at least one subject. What is the probability that a student choose at random from a class offer chemistry only? We can find this one under a question called, under a topic called set, under set theory, Venn diagram. But this Venn diagram is associated with probability. In the first place, we have the union. We must also try the universal. The universal set of that question will be what? 45. And we have to take a letter to represent chemistry, that is C, and a letter to represent biology, which is B. So by using 2 Venn diagrams, you first of all try to find how many students offer both subjects. By subtracting, if we say x, by subtracting x from 28, you subtract x from 25. if you can set two-set Venn diagram here, two-set Venn diagram, you solve that one for x. After solving for x, now the value of x will be substituted for chemistry only. You can now look at chemistry only. 28 minus x. The value you get for x, just subtract that value from 28. So you now get 4 all over 9. So the correct answer here will be 4 all over 9 for question 7. So for question 8, find the value of x, for which x minus 4 all upon x square here minus 2x minus 2 is undefined. We can find this one under a topic called relation and function. Function and relation, we can find this one under the topic there. So the only thing that will make any relation undefined for rational numbers, it is when you equal the denominator to 0. That makes us to know that expression is undefined. So for x minus 4, we are not going to consider x minus 4 because it is above the fractional line. If the question would have said, what makes this expression defined? You can now choose x minus 4 is equal to 0. You solve for x. But when they say undefined, equate the denominator to 0 and you now solve for x. So if you equate the denominator here to 0, you now have quadratic equation here. You solve the quadratic equation and you solve for x. Either you use completing square root method, or use a formula method, or you try to do the substitution method. That is, you look out for a number that you multiply, you get a constant. If you add, you get a variable. So if you solve that one, you now got for x, the first value will be -1, and x, the second value will be -3. So for question 8, the correct answer here will be -1 and -3. Now we'll go to question 9. The nth term of the sequence is 2 to the power, n to the power 2 minus n minus 2. Find the sum of the third term. This one again, we can find this one under series and sequence as a topic. We know sequence means you are moving in that step order. They ask you to find the first, second, and the third term. But the expression here is given. The n here happens to be the number of terms in there. You are asked to find the third term. So just put where you see n, just put the p, and where you see other n again, you put p, and you work that one out, you now got the third term. So for question 9, if you can use where you see n, you put p, because we want to get the third term. If you work that one out, you got value answer will be 2. So the correct answer here is 2. So we go to question 10. The ratio of a length to a width, the rectangle is 5:4. If the perimeter is 54, find the length. All right. So this one again, it is under geometry, under angles. We know a rectangle, the two opposite sides are equal. The two opposite sides are equal. The length is equal to the length, and the width here is equal to the other width. So for you to get the other length, try to get the perimeter. The perimeter is already here, which is what, 54. Use a formula for perimeter. That is, to find the perimeter of a rectangle, that is, when you add all the length together, that is the length plus the length, plus the width, plus the width. So by putting the first length, because we have only a length here, the ratio of a length is given, 5:4. Try to get the sum of the ratio first. After getting the sum of the ratio, use that one as the first length, and you get the other length. If you use a formula for perimeter of a rectangle, length plus width plus width, or we can say 2 into length plus width. So if you use that, the first length that is missing, you can find this one if you use the fraction here, 5:4. Add the fraction together, and you use that one as the first length, and it's equal to 54. You work that one out, you now got 15. So the correct answer for question 10 here is 15. So question 11, use a cumulative frequency curve to estimate the 80th percentile. This one is under statistics. This one, we call this one under cumulative frequency. And we call 80th percentile. We know percentile, we talk about 100. That's what a percent. So say percentile, try to know first the sum of this frequency. So in this question here, the y there happens to be the sum of that frequency. Add all the frequency here, which is under the y-axis, add for the 80th percentile now will be 80 all over the sum of this equation here. That is for y, sum of y. Multiply that one by 100. And if you can work that one out, you can derive at 29.5. You can add all the value for y here. And the 80th percentile, 80 divided by the value for y here added, multiply by 100. If you can divide that one, your correct answer will be 29.5. Question 12. If P is for Musa, is short. Q, that is equal to Musa is brilliant. Write in symbolic form the statement Musa is short, but not brilliant. All right. This one, we can find this one under word problem. Here, P is equal to Musa is short. And Q is equal to Musa is brilliant. But you want to write it in the form of a symbol that Musa is short but not brilliant. So Musa is short will be P, but not brilliant. We all know the sign between the P here and the Q here. If you can take V, V means union. V means union. And the other that is turning the V turning over, we call that what? Interception. So it simply means Musa is short, but not brilliant. So we be P interception Q. So you now have P intersection Q as the correct answer. For question number 12. Question 13. If X upon X minus Z is equal to Y upon Z minus Y. Find Z when X is equal to 2 and Y is equal to 3. This one is substitution, algebraic substitution. Here, whenever you see X, put 2. Whenever you see Y, you put 3. And then you solve for Z. So if you put the value of X as 2, the value of Y as 3, you solve that one for Z. So your correct answer will be 25. So the correct answer for 13 here is 25. So question number 14. The diameter of the base of a cone is 8 centimeters and its height is 3 centimeters. Calculate the cone surface area of the cone. You have to take pi as 22 all over 7. Here we want to get the area, the surface area. And we all know a cone here, we want to talk about the circumference of that one. And we know circumference means the area of a circle. And the cone is just like a circle. So for you to find this cone here, you have a formula that says you have 2 pi here and multiply by it, the radius and of course the height. We know we have the height here already, which is 8 centimeters. So you put pi into that equation given, that is into that formula given. You put a h into that formula given, then you work that one out, you get the surface area of that cone. And if you do that one, you end up getting 62.86 centimeter square. Why do we use square? Because we have 2 centimeters at the end of the day. Because if you have 2 pi radius, square height, we know the base here would now be the radius, that is what? 8 centimeters multiplied by 3 centimeters. Longer the joke. So that 3 centimeters, we now have centimeter multiplied by centimeter. You now have centimeter square. So your correct answer will be 62.86 centimeters for question number 14. For question 15, correct 4, 8, 9, 7, 6 to 3 significant. We can find this topic under approximation, under numbers and numeration as a topic. under a subtopic called approximation. We want to talk about significance. Significance, our concern here is to a digit numbers, just to a digit. We don't need any concern for 0. We can only consider 0 when we can see 0 in between a digit. But for the mere fact we don't see 0 in between digits, 0 started with a digit, do not consider that 0 as significant. Do not consider that. Just consider the number. That is a digit. So in here, we don't have any 0 here. So we want to get 3 significant figures. So we need to count here 3 numbers here. That is, you count 4 is 1, 8 is 2, and 9 is 3. So we now have 3 significant. We don't get a joke. But the other 2 values here, that is, the number close to 9 is above 4. And at any time a number is above 4, take 1 and add it to the innate number. So we now have 4, 8, 9. But because this 7 here is above 4, you are taking 1 out of that 7. You put it on that 9. This one become, you now see this one changed now to 4, 7, 0 here. That is 4, 7. So your correct answer here now will be 4, 9, 0, 0. Wrong, got it? Because this is 89. So if you add 1 to 89, you have what? 90. That is why you have 4, 9, 0, 0. So replace all the other numbers with what? Zeros against it. So you now have 4, 9, 0, 0, 0 as the correct answer. Question 16.
Hold on 1 second, Maury. Alusine, are you guys getting this? Is everything okay there? Alusine?
Yeah, I'm getting you now. Can you hear you now?
Yeah, everything okay? Are you guys getting this?
Yeah, getting it. Everything okay, guys? Yes, it is very loud and clear. No problem.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Sorry, Maury. Let's continue. Just want to check.
All right.
Hello?
Yeah?
Maury.
Yes, sir.
Please slow down a little bit. To slow down a little bit, sir.
All right, just slow down. All right, then no problem. I can do that. All right. All right, question 16. From the top of a graph here, 90 meters high, the angle of depression here of a boat on the sea is 36.2 degrees. Calculate correct to 1 decimal place the distance of the boat from the left. Now here, we can find this one under angles of elevation, angles of what? Depression. Under a topic called, we call this one under a topic, we still have this one at trigonometric ratio. That is angle of elevation, angle of what? Depression. We want to say depressed. So meaning an object is just coming at the top to move downwards. That is what? Depressing down. So we use an angle of depression to calculate this value. So if you use 90 meter here and you use 36.2 degrees, you can do that one with angle elevation here. You have another value, but we want to get angle of depression here. So by using 90 by 36.2 degrees, your correct answer here will now be 111.5 meters. So meaning from that distance where the object starts to depress, is what? The distance will be 111.5 meters. So for question 16, you have 111.5 meters as a correct answer. We go to question 17. The mean of 10 numbers is 9.5. If the mean of 8 of them is 8.2, find the mean of the remaining 2. All right. Here we want to get first the mean of 10 numbers. We have 9.5. And in here we have 8 numbers, 8.2. So we want to get the remaining 2. How do we get the remaining 2? First of all, try to add first the numbers together. That is by taking 10 and you have 8. After that, try to get, you add again the means of that number. So by adding the mean together, That is 9.2 plus 8.2. You divide that one now by the sum of the numbers you've added. You get your answer. So by subtracting it from the main of these two numbers, you will end up getting 14.7. So your correct answer for 17 would be 14.7. All right, so the other question here, 18, use a graph to answer the question. So question 18, find the equation of the graph. All right. Now we can see the curve of this graph here is below. It's below, the x and y axis is below. And whenever you see a graph, the curve of that graph, that is the slope of it is below, it have a curve below. We look at the difference between here. We have the first number here is -6. And the other one here, for the highest number under the positive part of the x-axis is 10. How do you get this equation? You first of all try to get 6 here, the difference between these two digits. From here to here, we have the difference between them. So meaning 3 by 6, what do we have? We have 2. We're not going to joke, we have 2. And we have 2 of this line that is cutting under x. So now have what? 2x squared. So for 2x squared, how do we get the 5x now? How do we get the 5x? You can see the difference between here. From 0 here to 10, you have another one here, 0 to 10. From 0 here to 10, we have 5 difference between them. That is, from here to here, we have a difference of 5. From here to here, we have a difference of 5. So meaning the difference of 5 of that x will be 5x. Minus what? 12. Why do we get 12 here? Why do we have minus 12? Because if you can multiply here, the 2 by 6. Because the difference here for the x will be 2. So if you multiply 2 by 6, 2 by minus 6, you have what? Minus 12. The equation of this graph will be 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. For question 19, the table shows the distribution of the height of plants and nursery. Find the percentage plant high above the model height. All right. We want to find the percentage of the plant which have the above the model height. We can find this one under statistics again. The percentage under the model. In the first place, try to know the mode of this question here. What will be the mode here? Mode means the numbers with highest frequency. So in this question here, which number have the highest frequency? We can see 4 have the highest frequency. The frequency here will be, we say 4 have the highest frequency because we have 2, 4, 5, 3, 1. So under the frequency, the highest number there is what? 5. And it's carrying under the height, which number? 4. So we want to get in percentage. So try to add all the sum of this frequency divided by the 4 and multiply that one by 100. And if you do that one, your answer will be 26%. So your correct answer for 19 is 26%. Question 20. The probability that a seed planted on a piece of farmland will germinate is 2 upon 5. Find the probability that 3 seeds are planted on the farmland, none of them will germinate. We know this one is probability. Under a topic, probability. And one thing you need to note, probability here, the highest value of a probability is 1. The highest value. There's no value for probability would exceed more than 1. If it exceeds more than 1, then that's not probability. The highest there is 1. The rest will be 0.8 or 0.8. So that is probability. So here, the probability that these seeds are planted on the farmland will not germinate. Try to get first the probability of seed that will germinate. And after that, those that would not germinate. You add this one. If you can add this number by this, you now get those who germinate and those that will not germinate. So if you can multiply that one, you end up getting 27. So 27 all over by adding all this one will be 125. So out of those that will not germinate will be 27 all over 125. So the correct answer here will be 27 all over 125. And if you can express this one, you now have 0 point a number, not above 1. So for question 20, your correct answer will be 27 all over 125. Question 21. PQRS is a trapezium such that PQ is 10 centimeter, SR is 16 centimeter, and PS is 10 centimeter. If PQ is perpendicular to PQ, calculate the area of the trapezium. All right, the diagram I am seeing here, we want to get a trapezium, but the diagram I see here is not a diagram that represents a trapezium. So this one is solved. Maybe the diagram here is not the correct. All right, this diagram is not a diagram here for this question. So we can skip this one. The team will fix this one so that we get the actual diagram supposed to be here. This diagram here is not a diagram for trapezium. The trapezium here is the two are opposite equal. They are equal to opposite line. And the top and the bottom line are not equal. But we can look at this one. This one is a circle, triangle, and a circle. So this one is not a trapezium. So we can move ahead. We go to question 22. So for question 22, we want to write down the 50 term, the sequence 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Now we want to get a 15 term. A sequence here, let's know first how many numbers are between here. From 1 to 2, how many numbers are between them? 1. So from 2 to 3, how many numbers are between them? 1. We're not going to do. So we start first from 1. We now have 1, 2, 3. So if you want to come to the next one, you start from where? 2. You have 2, 3, 4. That's 2, 3. So if you go to the next one, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to start the other one, you start now on 3. So that one will be 3, 4, 5. So for you to get a 15 term of this again, you start from 4, 5, 6. We're not going to do. Then the next one again, after getting 4, 5, 6, you start again from 5 now. 5, 6, 7. You do that one onwards to getting the 15th term. So the 15th term here will be 15, 16, 17. Or in short, since we have 1, 1 different between each number, and you are looking out for 15 term, look at the first term here, 1, 2, 3. Meaning we are looking out for 3-digit numbers here. So meaning start from 15 and add 1, 1 different from that 15. Add 1 to 15, you get the other value. You add 1 to the other value to get the last value. So by starting from 15, you add 1 to 15, you have what? 16. You add 1 to 16, you have 17. So for the 15th term here will be 15, 16, 17 in the short way. So the correct answer here will be 15, 16, 17. For question 23. 23 here says 1 factor of 7x squared plus 33x minus 10 is equal to, meaning we want to get the factor. And what are factors? We say factors are numbers that divide another number exact without a remainder. That's a factor. So we want to get a number that will divide 7x squared and 33x. What's the number here? So first of all, let's change this 7x squared to be 7 squared here will be 49. What I'm going to do will be 49. And if you get 49, which number can go into 49? That is what? 7. So by taking factor of this one, you take 7. 7 can go to 7 many times? 1 time remainder x. Because 33 here, there's no number that can go we can use as a factor that to divide 33. So no need, we don't have any number of divide this one. Again, after that, we have another factor, which is what? 5, the highest factor. 5 can go into 10 as a highest factor. We might take 2, no. But we cannot take 2 because we want to take the highest factors. So if we take 49, we take 7, can go into 49, we have 7 times. And if you take x from x, how many x remain? 1. So 5 can go into 10, how many times? We have 2 times. So you now have 7x minus 2. So for question 23, the correct answer here is 7x minus 2. So let's go to the next question. So the other question here, question 24. Which of the following statement is true about parallelogram? A, opposite angles are supplementary. B, opposite angles are complementary. C, opposite angles are equal. And D, opposite angles are reflex angles. One thing you need to know first, try to know supplementary angles. We say supplementary angles are angles that the sum of each angles is equal to how many degrees? 90. Complementary angles, those are angles that the sum are equal to 180 degrees. Then for the opposite angles are reflex. Reflex angles are angles that are above 180 degrees but less than 360. So but parallelogram is not like that. Parallelogram, the two opposite angles are equal. Like I explained this one under the parallelogram that we talk about here, under the trapezium. I say trapezium, the two parallel lines are equal. Not so the two opposite lines are equal. So we see rectangle is a parallelogram, square also is a parallelogram. So the opposite sides are equal. So meaning for parallelogram, two opposite angles are equal. So the correct answer here is two opposite sides are equal. So that's the truth about parallelogram. So we'll go to question 25. Question 25. The diagram shows a circle 0 if angle ZYW is equal to 30 degrees. Find angle ZWX. We can find this one under geometry again. How do we get this? We say if ZYW here is 33 degrees. Find the value of the other angle ZWX. So in this question, let's look at Z. Look at Z here. Look at Y here. And look at W here. So meaning from here to here, that is 33. So your concern here now is for you to find ZWX. So ZWX. But you can see ZWX here. We can look this one. That is what? Sum up to how many degree here? We can see 90 degree. Look this one. It's a triangle. So if you can subtract 33 from 90, how many will remain there? 57. We see ZWX here. It's a triangle. Look at this one. It's a triangle here. You see. But if you can take ZWX, Y, Z again. This one, we want to just look at ZWX. That is Z here, W and X. So meaning that is what? 90 degree. But they have already removed 33 from that 90. So if you take 33 from 90, you have 57. So correct answer here will be 57. So go to the next question. Next question here. We have 26. Calculate the graph, the gradient slope of a line joining the point -1, 1, and 2, and -2. This one is a gradient. We have a formula for gradients here. Just use that formula. The formula for gradients here we have for gradient y2 minus y1 all upon x2 minus x1. That's the formula for gradient. And in the first here, the first bracket here, the first number happens to be for x, meaning it is what? X1. The other value here against it is what? For y, y1. And this other one here, the other value here will be x2 and y2. So by using that formula, y2 minus y1 all upon x2 minus x1. If you can work that one out, your correct answer will be -1. So for question 26, the correct answer here is -1. 27. The bar chart shows the statistics of a number of passes and failure in the exam in a school for 2001 to 2004. What is the ratio of the total number of passes to the total number of failure? Well, we cannot see the bar chart. So how do we determine this? So there must be a chart here to indicate this value. So meaning we don't need the T's will fix this one. So the T will fix. So when the T will fix, then we'll try to know what to do the next one. So we go to the next question for question 28. For question 28, we say if the number base was added, 1 plus nn is equal to 100, where n is greater than 0. This one is the question say we want to get in what number base was this question added? In what number base? How do we go about this? Just try to set these numbers. Set them. Just set this one. And if you set this one by saying 1 plus nn is equal to 0. If you can work this one out, look at the question. It says x here, we say n is greater than 0 but less than what? 0. Wrong joke. X is greater than n or less than 0. So the correct answer here, we see we work that number based under n. So the correct answer here will be n. So let's go to question 29. Find the sixth term of a sequence. 2 upon 3, 7 upon 15, and 4 upon 15. We want to get which term? Sixth term. The first thing to do, try to get first the common difference. That is taking the first. What's the difference between 7 and 2 here? What's the difference between them? Try to get that one. We take 7 minus, we take 2 minus 7. That's the first common difference. So by getting the difference, and of course you add again the difference between them, you end up getting -1 upon 3. So the correct answer here will be -1 upon 3. So for question 30, the roots of a quadratic equation are -1 upon 2 and 2 upon 3. Find the equation. All right, we can find this one under symmetric function, a topic called symmetric function. In under symmetric function, we have numbers that represent. We have the alpha, beta, and find this under symmetric function. So we have an equation that we have a letter representing. A there representing the alpha, B there representing beta, and the C there representing the constant. So by taking this equation where you see A here, under the symmetric function, you put 1 upon 2. And under the B where you see, under the beta, you take 2 upon 3. You can work that one under the symmetric form. You now have 6x squared minus x minus 2. So the correct answer here will be 6x squared minus x minus 2. Now let's go to question 31. Given that t is equal to 2 to the power minus x, find 2x plus 1 in terms of t. All right. This one again is under a topic called exponential equation. We can find this one under exponential equation. But it's associated with making letter as a subject of the relation. So by working this one out in the form of exponential equation, you will end up getting 2 all over t. So the correct answer here would be 2 all over t. Now let's go to question 32. If the simple interest of a certain amount of money saved in a bank for 5 years at 21.2% per annum is 500 naira, calculate the total amount due after 6 years at the same rate. They say, what are we to calculate? Total amount, meaning we can find this one under simple interest. So total amount, the total amount means we are asking to look out for the principal. But we know the formula for us to calculate simple interest. That is, SI is equal to, we have P multiplied by the T multiplied by the rate, all upon what? 100. That's the formula to calculate simple interest. So by taking the P, here we don't have P. So your answer here is for you to get the value of P. That's the principal. So if you use that equation, that relation, that is, if you can use SI is equal to the principal multiplied by the time, multiplied by the rate, all divided by 100, and you work for P. If you work that one for P, you will end up getting 4,600 naira. So your correct answer here will be 4,600 naira. So question 33. The graph of y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c is shown in the diagram. Find the maximum value of y. Wow. So I cannot see the diagram. Cannot see the diagram as well here. So meaning the team will try to fix this diagram. You can see the diagram so that you can solve this question for 33. So anyway, let's go to question 34. Now question 34. If m is equal to x is to t greater than or equals to x or greater than 8, and n is equals to 8 is to x is to 8 greater than x and greater than or equals to 12, which of the following is true? All right. One, we take a look. 8, the 8 here is equivalent to m intersection n. Or 2, 8 here is equivalent to m union n. Or 3, m intersection n is equal to empty set. We can find this one under sets. So all this, the symbol you are seeing here, that is what, just like E. This is what equivalent to. And the one you are seeing at the middle of M and N here, we can call that symbol as what? Intersection. And we can find this one again under the 2. We can see the order of value here, which is what? Just like a U. We call that one as what? Union. And we can see another one here again. It's equal to, we have 0 and a line against it. We call that one as what? An empty set. Write down, if you have 2 sets together, we want to get an empty set. If we can find A in set A and we can find the A again in set B, meaning we cannot write it this way. But in the case where they say find set A and set B, if you cannot see A in set A, neither A in set B again, meaning that set is an empty set. So meaning empty set should be written like this, 0 and something like this. So in this question, the correct answer here is 3 only, because 3 here will give us m intersection n. Let's look at the question. We can find 3 here. Can we find 3 in here? No. We have 8 here. Can we find 8 in this other set? No. So meaning what is in this set is not in this other set. So we call this one as what? An empty set. So the correct answer here is 30. For 34 is for 3. That is what? Roman figure 3 only. That is m intersection n here is an empty set. What is the intersection? What is in the m set? We can find it in the n set. There's no number in here. Now we can find it in here. So the correct answer here is 3 Roman only. Now let's go to question 35. Solve the equation 1 upon 5x plus 1 upon x is equal to 3. All right. This one again is under a topic called algebraic equation. Under algebra. This one is an equation. Here, find the LCM first. That is 5x and x. By finding the LCM of this, you divide the denominator by the LCM and you multiply this one by the numerator here. This other one again, divide the denominator here by the LCM and you multiply this one by 1. It's equal to 0. You solve that one, your correct answer will be 2 upon 5. So for question 35, your correct answer is 2 upon 5. Now let's go to question 36. Simplify log 10 base 6 minus 3 log 10 base 3 plus 1 upon 2 log 10 base 27. All right. This one is under a topic called logarithm, under logarithm. So there's some aspect in here. We can see multiplication here. We can see addition, and we can see a number like what? A division. So in here, we have all rules and regulation of logarithm, just like an indices. If we are dividing 2 log together, how do? We subtract. So that is what we do here. So for this, the relation is given. That is log 10 base 6 minus 3 here. This we now have 1 first. Try to take this one. We take the log first together. Let's take the log together in the first place. We take log 10 base 6 and we bring 2 upon 3 log 10 base 27. Put them together. Now you take the other log here. So after that, what do you do here? You take this one to a power 2 upon 3 log 10 base 27. It means when a number is written against a log, for you to write that one in the form of a log, put that number in a form, in the power of that log. That is why we can see we put this 2 up to this 27, meaning 27 have a power now. So now have, this one will be 27 to the power 2 upon 3. And after that, what do you do here? This 27 here, you now have the 3 happens to be the root, and the 2 there happens to be the square. Always, that's what you have to do. So meaning the 3 happens to be the cube root. The 3 take the root, and the 2 take the square. The denominator take the root, and the numerator take the square. That's so. You now take the cube root of 27. When I say cube root of 27 here, which number will you take? You multiply that number 3 times to give you 27. That is the only thing about the cube root. When I say cube root of 5, meaning which number would you take if you multiply that number 3 times to give you that 5? So the same question here with this 27 here. Which number will you take if you multiply that number 3 times to give you 27? That's the question. And what's the number? We take what? 3. Because if you can take 3 here, 3 times 3, we have what? 9. And 9 times 3, you have what? 27. So the correct answer here would be what? 3. And in this case, 3 to the power 2, again, will give us what? 9. Are we following? So 3 to the power 2 will give us 9. So 3 to the power 2 will give us 9, all upon what? The 27. That is, why do we get this 27? Because we want to take this one as a root by what? 27. Divide this one. Because the roots are the same, the base are the same here. If we are subtracting, we divide. So in this base, 6 here and 27, we divide them. We maintain 1 log and divide them. That is why we have 6 multiplied by 9, all upon 27. Root number can go into 6, 2, and of course, 6, 9, and 27. We take what? 3. 3 can go into 6 how many times? 2 times. And 3 here into here how many times? We have 3 times. 3 can go to 7 1 times. Into 27 here again, 9 times. So 9 can go to 7 1 times into here. We take what? 3. That's what you can see here. So by canceling all these things, you now have log 10 base 2. That is what? Log 10 base 2. So the correct answer here will be log 10 base 2 for question 36. Now let's go to 37. There are 8 boys and 4 girls in a lift. What is the probability that first person who stepped out of the lift will be a boy? I told you about probability. Now, in the first place, try to know how many people are in the lift. We have 8 boys and how many girls? 4 girls. Add the boys and the girls together. How many people are there? You can have what? 12. All right, we have what? 12. So we now take 8 by what? 4. So 8 by 4. The 4 here is for the girls and the 8 here is for the boys. Now the probability that first person who stepped on the lift will be a boy. Take the number for a boy and divide it by what? The sum of the people in that lift. So the boy there is 8. And all the people in that lift was how many people? 12. So if you can do that, so I now have 8 upon 12. Which number can go into 8 and of course 12? What's the number? 4. 4 can go into 8 how many times? 2 times into 12, 3 times. So your correct answer here will be 2 upon 3. So for question 37, the correct answer is 2 upon 3. Now let's go to question 38. If 2 to the power a is equal to root 64, and a upon b is equal to 3, calculate a square plus b square. All right. We can find this one also under exponential equation. Exponential. First of all, let's try to change 2a squares root 64 into its simplest form. That is, the root of 64 will be what? 8. The root of 64 here will be 8. Because 2 here is to the power a, we want to make that 8 again to a power. So we want to make the base the same. This is 2. So 2 to the power 8. Which number will we take 2? If you raise that number to a power, it will give us 8. It's only what? 2 to the power 3. Because if we take 2 times 3, we take what? 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times, we give us 8. That is 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So meaning the root of 64 is 8. So 2 to the power 3 will give us that 8. Now we have the base the same. So what are we to do? Equate the numbers, equate the powers. That is, you cancel 2 here, cancel 2 here. What's remain here? The powers. A is corresponding to which number? 3. So the value here will be what? 3 in the first place. So that's the value for A. So by taking B upon A is equal to the value for B here will be what? 3 to the power 2 plus B square. We know B square here is the same thing as 3 to the power B. So we do 3 to the power 3 plus B multiplied by 3 all to the power 3. And if you have 3 to the power 3 here, we now have 3 times 3 here will give us 9. Do not say 3 times 2 is wrong. Deal with the bracket first. 3 times 3 here we have what? 9. And 9 square give us what? 81. So 3 square here will be what? 9. Meaning 3 times 3 we have 9. So if you can add 9 plus 81, now you have what? 90. So A square plus B square, the correct answer for A will be what? 90. So the correct answer here is 90. So now let's go to question 39. If log x base 2 is equal to 0.3, evaluate log x base 3. In here, we still have logarithm again. That is substitution in logarithm. First of all, we know log x base 2 is 0.3. That is what we want to take. That is the answer for the log. So in this question, try to get first the log x base 2 in the form of what? A logarithm. That is, take 3 over the log. Writing this one in the simplest form, take this one over a log. What remain here? You now have 3 log. We have 3 log x to the power 2. Wrong at 2. So by doing, but we know that log x base 2 is what? 0.3. So just use the value for log x base 2 and multiply that one by 3. If we do that, we now have 0.9. So the correct answer here will be 0.9. Question 40. An arc sustained at angle of 72 degrees at the center of a circle. Find the length of the arc if the radius of the circle is 3.5 centimeters. Take pi as 22 upon 7. What are we asked to find here? The length. All right. We asked to find the length. And in here, we can find this one under measuration, under a topic called measuration. We want to get the arc. And we all know how arc is. We can look at this solution. Look at this one here. Look at this one. A and B meet at 0. And this one is an arc, even here. So it makes an angle of 472. So from A to B, we want to get the length between A to B. So we want to take LAB to be the length. That is what? To be the length of the arc AB. So, but we know the radius of this one. The radius here, that is what? 3.5 centimeters. And the O here is what? 72 degrees. And pi here is 22 all over 7. So one for let we get the angle of an arc. That is will be what? The theta. So theta is equal to angle of an arc. So AB, the subset at the center of the circle. We can see this one. It's a subset. So for us to use this one, take the formula for you to calculate the length of that. That is, we have the formula that says 2 pi radius. 2 pi radius. But we want to get a theta. Theta means we want to get the angle set. So for the theta, we know this here. The angle of the circle is sum up to about 360. That is why we have the theta all up over 360. What do we do here? We cross multiply the LB by the 360 and the 2 pi radius square by the theta. So by doing that, you now put the value for theta. You now put the value for the angle, that is what? 72 by 2 multiplied by 22 multiplied by 3.5, which is what? The length of that. All upon 7. We all know this one is the LB of the length. That is what the length of that arc. Multiply that one by 360. So by cancel this one, you work this one out, you have 44 centimeters. So the length here, the distance from that A to B will be 44 centimeters. So the arc there, the length between the A and the B for that arc is 44 centimeters. So the correct answer here is 44. Let's go to question 41. Eric sold his house through an agent who charged 8% commission on the selling price. If Eric received $117,760 after the sale, what was selling price of the house? All right, we can find this one again on the topic called profit and loss. Under profit and loss, all under is big subtopic called everyday arithmetic. We can find this one under everyday arithmetic. So let's look at the solution here now. Let's look at this one. First, we want to know the commission. The commission is 80% of the selling price. And how do we do that? We know 80% is what? Percenting in what? 100. So if Eric sells this goods as 100%, you must have to subtract that 8% from that 100% that's sold. So you see, so meaning if you can subtract this 100 remain 92%. So meaning Erickson now will remain 92% of the sale he do. So we want to get his selling price now. Selling price of the house. We use a formula for profit and loss. So selling price here, we now get a percentage price. Let's look at this one. Percentage profit. We'll talk about percentage profit to say profit all over the amount, the total cost multiplied by 100. That's what they say. But in here, we want to take the commission here now for Eric. That is what we have. The money that Eric received for the house, all upon, after subtracting the commission by 100, you multiply that one again by 100. So by solving this one, you now get $128,000. So meaning $128,000 was the price that Eric sold that house. He sold that house with a cost of $128,000. Now let's go to question 42. Question 42. Solve y plus 1 all upon 2 minus 2x minus 1 all upon 3 is equal to 4. This one again is algebraic equation. So the first thing to do, find the LCM first of this one. Find the LCM. The LCM here is what? 6. Why do we take 6? Because there's no number under the denominator that will divide that number. That is, if you take 3, 3 can go to 7, but 2 cannot go to 3. So that is why we have to multiply the denominators. 2 multiplied by 3, we have what? 6. So the LCM for this question will be 6. After that, 2 can go into 6. How many times? We take 3 times. So 3 multiplied by the value for this numerator here. You work that one out. 3 can go into 6. How many times? 2 times. So 2 multiplied by this numerator value here. You work that one out. All is equal to what? 4. And if you can work that one out, you end up getting minus 19. Look at this one. Like what I just explained. The LCM here is 6. So 2 can go into 6 how many times? 3 times. We don't get the joke. So 3 multiplied by y plus 1. We now have 3 into y plus 1. minus this sign here, you take minus sign. 3 can go into 6 how many times? 2 times. So 2 multiplied by 2y plus 1, we have 2 into 2y minus 1 is equal to what? 4. And that 6 again, we multiply that 6 by the 4 again as the LCM. We don't get it too. So 6 here multiplied by 4, you have 24. If you can remove this bracket 3 times, so we have 3y plus 3 times 1, we have 3 minus 2 times 2, we have 4y minus minus, we have plus 2 times 1, we have what? 2 is equal to what? 24. So what do we do here? We now transpose this number, that is taking this number together. If we take 24 minus 3 minus what? 2, we give us what? 19. So now have y minus y here is equal to what? 19. But we are not asked to look out for minus y, we are asked to look out for y. Divide both sides by minus 1, divide both sides by minus 1. So if we divide both sides by minus 1 here, the minus will cancel minus. So the positive 19 will take the negative because positive divided by negative is negative. That is what we have. Y is equal to minus 19. So the correct answer here is minus 19. Now, let's go to question 43. We still have several more questions to go. Let's solve question 43. The diagram PQ and ROT are straight line. OPQRS is parallelogram. OS is equal to OT. So we see, look at this question. So we see OS equals to OT. Why? Because they are what? Parallel. The statement for one question we have solved, we say parallel line, 2 opposites are equal. So if OS is opposite to OT, so that is why they are equal. That is why we have OS equal to OT. And angle OST is equal to 50 degrees. Calculate the value of angle OPQ. So what are we asked to calculate here? Angle OPQ. So we want to calculate this value. So let's look at the solution. We say OST. Whenever you see a sign up here, something like this, it means at the middle. Meaning we are considering S to be at the middle. So if you want to get that, I now have OST, meaning we have OS at the middle. You see, S at the middle, OST. Take note of that. So we have this one again is equal to 50. Why? This one is equal to this, we call them as what? Associate triangle, we call this one. And associate triangle here is what? 50. So this and this are equal. Then if we can take SOT is equal to 180. So what do we get for this 50? We can add it together and subtract from 180. We can see again, SOT here is equal to ROT, which is what? 80. Why? Because vertical opposite angles are equal. So by taking, so we can take this one, OPR here is 100. Why? Because they are alternate angle. So O here, we take O here, and of course we have the Q, and we have OPQ. OPQ will be equal to 100. Why? Because OPR is opposite. They are vertically angles. That is OPQ is vertical opposite angles. To which angles? We say O, P, and we have what? R. O, P, R here. O, what? OPQ. And when angles are opposite, vertically opposite angles, they are what? Equal. They are alternating angle here. This one is alternating to this, and this one is alternating to that. That's why we say they are equal. So if this is 100, here also supposed to be 100 because they are alternate angles. So alternate angles are equal. So the correct angles here is 100. For question 43. Let's go to 44. The interior angles of a polygon are 3x degree, 2x degree, 4x degree, and we have 3x degree and 6x degree. Find the size of the smallest angle of the polygon. All right. Now we want to take a look at this. We can find this one on the polygon. First thing you need to know, try to know the size of this angle. How many sides are you seeing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that. And 5-sided polygon, how do we call 5-sided polygon? We know this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-sided polygon called as what? So what? Pentagon. That is what? Pentagon. So, and we first of all try to know the size of it. How do we know? We have a formula to use for you to get the size of any polygon. That is 2n minus 4 multiplied by 90. We are in the n there happens to be the number of sides. You put, like for instance, here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 sizes here. So where is the n, put 5 and you work that one out. That's what will give the exact value of that angle. So now let's take a look at this solution here. So by using this one, the interior angle of a polygon, look at this one. So the smallest angle here will be what? 2, because look at it. 2x degrees is smallest. All right. So like I told you, this is the formula we use to find the interior part of the angle. 2n minus 4 multiplied by 90. That will give us the size of that angle. So by adding everything here, we now have 18x. So if you can work this one out, where you see n, you put what? 5. You work that one out, you now have what? 540. So meaning pentagon with 5-sided figure have what? The size of what? 540 degrees. So by dividing this 18 here, x is equal to 540. We are looking out for x, divide both sides by 18, you now have what? 30. But we are asked to look out for the smallest. So the value of x now is 30. So whenever you see x now, you put what? 30. So 2 times x today. So this 2 times x now will be 2 times 30. We give us what? 60. Let me give you a logic how to multiply 0 with a digit. When you multiply 0 with a digit, forget about the 0. Just multiply the digit. After getting the answer, later you add the 0 to the digit. How do you go about it? We have digits here. How many 0 can you see here? 1. 2 times 3, we have what? 6. How many 0 can you see? 1. Now add the 1 0 to the 6. You now get what? 60. So that's the simplest way you solve multiplication and have more zeros. So we go to question 45. We say if times x is equal to 3 upon 4, we are in x is greater than 0, but less than 90 degrees. Evaluate cos x all upon 2 sin x. Here, let's first of all try to take this. We can find this one on that trigonometric ratio. But by using trigonometry, look at this one. We take 5 and of course 3. We use this one as in the form of right angle triangle. X here will be the theta. That x here will be the angle. So 5 here, from 2, we take from 3 here is to 4 is to 5. Ratio side of it, triangle of an angle, this one. So this we do, meaning the change of this angle ABC will be cos x is equal to 4 upon 5. Change, you know, whenever you see this one, angles. Angle B, ABC, that is angle ABC. We now have cos. That is, we want to get this value. And whenever we want to get this value, we want to get what? The hypotenuse of this one. That is why we use this one. We use this one as well. SOHCAHTOA. That's the easiest way to remember the formula to calculate trigonometric ratio on what? Pythagoras theory. SOHCAHTOA. SOC, CAH, and TOA. We are in the SOC, the S means opposite. The S means the sign, and of course, O means the opposite, and A means what? Adjacent. The CAH means C means the cosine, A means the adjacent, and H means what? The hypotenuse. The two are there, TOA, T means the tangent, O means the opposite, and A means the adjacent. So that's the simplest way to remember the trigonometric ratio. That's this one, SOHCAHTOA. So by using this one, you solve, you now have 2 upon 3. So the correct answer here will be 2 upon 3. Let's go to question 46. A diagram RT is a tangent of a circle. R here, angle PQR is equal to 70 degrees. An angle QRT is 52 degrees. An angle QSR is Y. An angle PRQ is X. Use a diagram to answer the question below. Find the value of what? Y. Look at this diagram. We want to find this value of Y here. Now let's take a look at this solution. From the diagram there, RSQ is equal to RPQ, which is Y. And how do we call that angle? Angle in the same segment. And angle in the same segment are equal. Let's look at this one. Angle in the same segment. Look at this one. This They are the same segment. This one is the same segment of this. Can you see? The same segment. So meaning angle the same segment are equal. So in this question, if here is 52, here is 52, and here it also happens to be what? 52, because they are in the same segment. So the correct answer for Y here is 52. Question 47. The fourth term of an arithmetic progression here, the fourth term of an arithmetic progression here, which is AP, is 37, and the first term is minus 20. Find the common difference. Here we have a formula to do that. We want to find the common difference. But first of all, we know the T4. We want to get to what? The fourth term. That is what the T4. We have the formula that says A happens to be what? The first value, that is, the A here happens to be the term between this first and the second, plus what? The 3, and of course what? By what? The common difference is what? D. So by solving this for A here, we have what? 20. We have A to be 20. And if A here is 20, we have to get the common difference. So by using this relation here, you solve the common difference. So we now have 3D is equals to 57. Divide both side by 3, divide both side by 3. We now have 17. So the correct answer here will be 17 for question 47. Let's go to question 48. A box contains 5 red, 6 green, and 7 yellow pencils of the same size. What is the probability of picking a green pencil at random? In this question, first, try to know how many items are all in that box or in that object. How many items are there? We have 5, 6, and 7. Add them all fresh together. Now let's take a look at this. By adding all them together, you have what? 18. So for you to get for red, you have what? 5 upon 18. For you to get for green, is 6 upon 18. For you to get for yellow, is what? 7 upon 18. So we now look for the probability of picking a green pen at random. The green pen here is how many? We take green is what? 6 upon 18. So the green pen, 6 upon 18. We look out for a number that can go into 6 and 18. And what's the number? 6 itself. 6 can go to 7 many times? 1 time into 18, 3 times. So the correct answer here will be 1 upon 3. Now, second to last question. Question 49. The following are scores obtained by some students in the test. Meaning those are the scores. Use the information to answer the question below. Find the median. All right. In the first place, we want to find the median. But we can only find the median if we don't know the frequency. You have to add all the frequency here. If the frequency end in an even number, let's say, for instance, even numbers are numbers that can be divisible by 2. Exactly. If the number here, the frequency here end in an even number, you have a formula to take that. That is the sum of the frequency all upon what? 2. If you want to get the median. Median means the middle value. But we cannot get this median. This one is a group data here. So unless we have to use a formula. And here again, if in other hand, the sum of the frequency here end in an odd number. That is, for instance, let's say all numbers are numbers that cannot be divisible by 2. There must be a remainder. If it end in an odd number, you have a formula there to take. That is, sum of the frequency all upon what? 2 plus 1. That's the formula for take. In fact, for you to take in area of odd numbers. So we have to add all these numbers together. So by adding all these numbers together, we now try to get, will be what? 14. So 14 here is an even number. So an even number here, we take the sum of the frequency all upon 2. Longer the 2. So now let's see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in this question, we have 2 values as the middle value, as a median. That is, we have 13 as a median and 14 as a median. And if you take 13 and 14, add them together and divide that 1 by 2. If you divide that 1 by 2, you now have 27 upon 2. Divide 27 upon 2 by 2. You have what? 13.5. So your median here will be 13.5. The last but not the least for question here, 50. Evaluate log 3 base 9 minus log 2 base 8, all upon log 3 base 9. Here first, we'll try to understand something. This one is a division line. In logarithm, law of logarithm says, if we are dividing log with the same base, what are you to do? What are we to do here? We subtract. And if you are subtracting, what are you to do? You divide. So now let's look at this question. In here, we try to take first a power of this, meaning we want to take 9 raised to a power. So what will you use to a power to give us 9? That is what 3. So 3 to the power 2 will give us 9. Minus here, which number you will raise to a power will give us 8. 2 to the power 3 will give us 1, 8. So as you can see, we have this one here. Under the denominator here again, which number will you raise to a power will give us 9? It's 3. 3 to the power 2 will give us 9. That is why you have here. After getting that, the law of indices say when a power, the law of logarithm says when a base is raised to a power, you multiply that power by the log. That is why we have to multiply this 2 by the log, this other 3 again by the log. What are we going to do? We now have 2 log 3 base 3. So if you multiply this other one again with the log, you now have 3 log 2 to the power 2. Here again, if you can multiply, you multiply this one again by the log, you now have 2 log 3 base 3. And what are we to do? We now try to take the log here. This and this are the same. We cancel the log. This one, we cancel this. This one, we cancel this. What I'm going to do? We divide this one. Because by subtracting log with the same means we divide. So by dividing, you now have 2 multiplied by 1. This one, 3 multiplied by 1. And 2 multiplied by 1. What I'm going to do? So in this question, 2 times 1, we have 2. Minus 3 times 1, we have 3. All upon what? 2 times 1, we have 2. So 2 minus 3, we have what? Minus 1. All upon what? 2. So the correct answer here would be minus 1 plus 2. Minus 1 all upon 2. Thank you all for listening. God bless you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Maury. Do you guys have any questions? Alusine? You're muted, so you can unmute yourself. Hello? Alusine, can you guys hear me?